As we wrap up here underneath the car and bring the car down and show you the interior, we're going to talk about where you fill this transmission. On the passenger side, there is a pipe plug here that you would use a 3/8 drive on, and you would remove this off of the case and fill it with approximately 2 3/4 quarts of ATF Dextron 3 oil. Yes, you heard that correct, ATF, automatic transmission fluid. This is a manual. However, TREMEC has used a lighter viscosity oil with the oil additives in there for the synchronizers, and so we are using a Dextron 3 oil. Unlike the TKOs that preceded this unit, we do not use the Synchromesh oil. So as we want to fill it, we go through that hole, and if we were to drain and service the transmission, we would open up this plug here. Make sure not to over tighten these plugs because you can crack the case. There is sealant on the threads. I recommend that you reapply some Teflon pipe sealant to it. That will help seal it up without over tightening it. So you are not to then go on the opposite side. We've had people try to take the pivot out of the opposite side of the case and thinking that's a fill hole. So you always want to go here to the right-hand side of the transmission, fill it above. Some people will pour in oil from the shifter, from the interior of the car, because they find it more convenient than trying to pump it in. However, you will not know where the fill is. You want to level the transmission out in the case of where it is today and be able to fill it right to the bottom of that. If oil starts pouring out, you know that you've filled it to the top. Put the plug in. Be careful not to over tighten. So we're going to show you some of the highlights in the fitment of the side shifting transmission. Now, when I say side shifting, this is not a TREMEC offered product. This is an MDL modification that we do to the transmission. We actually take and modify the tail shaft housing by machining on CNCs, putting our shifter on it, making it structurally sound, and getting the biasing and the shift quality exactly the way that TREMEC intended it. So we're enhancing the fit and finish of the transmission without compromising the fit in the car. And that's always our goal. We're always trying to make the transmission fit the car, not the car fit the transmission. So for 64 through 67 Chevelles or any A body, we offer this. Now, the side shifter program that we have in this Chevelle is not exclusive to just the A bodies. We offer the side shifting for any car or transmission where we're trying to go 2 inches left of center and not go up and over, but over to the side and then up. So this also includes any C2, C3 Corvette as an example, Impalas. Also in the Ford family, we do it for Sunbeam Tigers, Fairlanes, and Galaxies, where the original linkage was on the side, 2-inch left of center, and then we have some other offsets to bring us forward and back to get that exact OEM fit and finish. Now, part of what we did here is we used the factory cross member, and then we also had to modify the drive shaft. So the owner of this car, Mike, decided to take his OEM drive shaft and have it shortened to fit. So we went through that measurement earlier in the video, and so check that out, the information for that, to get the necessary adjustments. The 31 spline slip yoke that was installed was required over the 27 spline that the Muncie had. So that was part of the kit that we provided. Mike opted to have his original drive shaft modified, but we offer steel, aluminum, and even carbon fiber drive shafts that can be custom built to measurement. You just ask us for a build sheet and we'll provide that for you. And then from there, you send it in and we build a complete drive shaft ready to install. Now, the question we commonly get is, why is it we don't have these already pre-done? Well, each car is a little different. We want that tolerance to a very high level. We want to be with, let's say, 1/4 inch. So Mike is ready to take this car off the lift and go for a drive, so let's do that now. car?
The motor came with the car. It was built by a retired race engine builder in Sparks, Nevada.
Okay.
For the 2 owners prior to me. Because he had, when he got the car, it had a 454 in it, so he found this motor. It's a 402, which is just a 30 over 396.
Right.
Downshift is nice. It just doesn't do anything weird. Kind of, but she doesn't really mean much to her.
Right.
She likes the fact that in 1978, when we met, I had one of these, same color. It wasn't as nice because a 17-year-old kid, but
right.
And so I used to pick her up, take her to high school in it. So we have that connection.
It's neat that you've been together that long.
Nice and smooth.
Yep. Tacking along around $2,000 at 65.
65, yeah.
And that's with 373 gears.
Yep.
Yep, that's nice.
It's pretty much where you want to be.
Yep. So, Mike, what do you think of the overall impression of your new TKX?
This is what I dreamed it would be. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. We're in overdrive right now, and that was unthinkable 54 years ago when this car was built. And all of us car guys love these old cars, but you know, there's a limit to how much of the old feel we want. So I still want it to sound like it does. I want it to feel the road, but I don't want to run at excessive RPM. And so this is what MDL set me up with this, and I just couldn't be happier. And working with the guys at MDL, Bruce and James, it's just been a fantastic experience. And I also opted for their clutch package and their hydraulic release bearing for the clutch as well.
So in your car, you've got pretty much a 26-inch tall tire, 373 gear ratio, pretty typical of the industry. And obviously you can go play at the drag strip if you wanted to, but then again, get on the open road and enjoy it. We're cruising around right now at about 50 miles an hour, you know, only tacking probably about 1800 RPM, so very enjoyable.
Yeah, this is perfect.
Hey, we're back here at Mike's place, and it's been about 4 months since Mike has owned his TREMEC TKX from Modern DriveLine for his '67 Chevelle. And we wanted to get a couple of words from Mike as a kind of a review. It's one thing to go out for a drive, get the initial impression, but we wanted to do a follow-up to make sure that he is happy with it after so many miles. So Mike, why don't you give us a few words?
The transmission has turned out to be everything I wanted it to be. It shifts like a dream. It's quiet. It doesn't do anything that we don't want it to do. The 1,000 RPM that I save on the highway is fantastic. That's why I bought it in the first place. I waited 5 years for this transmission to come out because I knew someday somebody would build one. And now TREMEC did, and I can't say enough good about it. The one benefit that I didn't expect was the shift quality, how much better it is than the Muncie, particularly second to third gear, which can be a challenge with the old H-pattern shifters. So this transmission is just a dream, and now that it fits perfectly, yeah, I'd recommend it to anybody, and Modern DriveLine in particular. So I couldn't be happier.
I appreciate that, Mike. So yeah, we want to speak a little bit to some of the other shift models that we offer. Mike's A-body is an early one, so this side shifting option, as an example, was required. However, if you have a 68 through, let's say, 72 Chevelle, the shifter doesn't need to be offset, but it is going to be in the more forward socket. So with other A-bodies, because A-bodies include GTOs, Le Mans, 442s, it makes sense that we offer a similar side shift, but those cars are somewhat unique in their exact shift position where it ends up coming back, let's say, another inch for the GTOs. And that program is also going to be available through Modern DriveLine for those A-bodies. Beyond A-bodies, we also offer shifters where we put the shifter more to the back and off to the side for, let's say, a C1, C2, and C3 Corvette. The Nova 2s also benefit from having the shifter off to the side. So in the GM line, really at the end of the day, it has to do with the GM TKX and our line of shifters to be able to make them into the positions that you're looking for. So while this feature has been a lot on the A-body, Modern DriveLine goes way beyond that and able to offer you a lot of custom offset shifters as well as our side shifting line of shifters. So from TREMEC, they offer the shifter from the back, the middle position, or front socket as it's sometimes referred to, or the front position of the transmission. Some people refer it to as a mid-shift from the days when the TKO had a shifter more forward. Modern DriveLine has introduced a front shift option for this transmission with a block-off plate towards the back, and we'll show you that in just a minute. In our display model that we have here, and no, you're not mistaken, this is not the mini TKX. So the front shift TKX that we're debuting here is allowing you to move the shifter more forward for trucks, hot rod applications, and anywhere where you want the shifter to be about 12 to 13 inches back. Now this one has a straight up stub, but we're going to offer them with offsets as well. So just contact us for your needs on that. We hope that you've enjoyed this 5-part series of the A-body installation with Mike's 67 Chevelle. But contact us with your project and we'll be glad to help you with your A-body or any other hot rod, muscle car, or muscle truck application. Feel free to visit us at moderndriveline.com, and thanks for making it modern.